idea on this, Poundcake? Know who this is?
Alanis Morissette.
Hey! How do you know her? I mean, these songs are 30 years old, but that's never really been your North Star, so.
Me and my brother used to listen to Alanis Morissette.
Did you really? Jagged Little Pill? It's a great album.
It's like, Ray!
Jesus Christ. Why does he have to?
You know what? Poundcake, guess what happened today?
What?
On my drive in, I happened to be listening to WMMS, and my window was down to buzz in, and Guns N' Roses was playing, little GNR, and the attendant was walking back into the area, into like the office area, and he looked over at me, gave me a nod, and threw me devil horns.
You're a liar.
I am not lying.
No, that's too. He's not going to make that up.
Was he
Guns N' Roses is very, very popular still.
And he was black?
Devil horns.
Yeah.
What, you don't like black people like rock and roll?
Yeah.
You ever heard of Bad Brains?
He just threw off my
Ever heard
narrative.
of God Forbid? You ever heard of death? Wow. You know what that is, Poundcake? That's stolen valor. That's supposed to be yours.
I willed it to Bill on accident. See? I shouldn't have. If I start
You accidentally willed something?
I willed it to Bill. Like, if I hadn't said anything and I just kept it internally and I just thought about it every day, it will manifest itself.
He willed it to you, Bill.
But because
That's what Poundcake calls
thank
his.
you.
Because
That's what Poundcake calls one of his Bill wills.
because I was so like.
You wanted it so bad.
That's what
I
I'm saying. I spoke
effortlessly
it.
got it. I got it by accident.
You
I
were
wasn't
thirsty.
even. I happened to have MMS on, and it was like the end of November rain. It was right before 1 o'clock. It was probably like 12:55, and he just like looked over at me and just threw me like a little like.
How about that?
Well,
and I didn't even think of anything of it, and I was like, oh.
but
That just happened.
so it's like, oh, wait, so they don't do that. They're not paying attention. No one's listening to your music as you're coming in, Alan.
They're not. They're not paying attention to how
did.
cool. No,
that was a
he
coincidence.
happened to hear the song, liked it, threw up the devil horns, and went about his business.
So-
you're trying to get guys to pay attention. See, Bill drives in. He's not thirsty at all.
Well, I don't like that. Bill gets gets the attention that I need from black men. I need the validation from black men. He gets his shoes complimented.
But you
He
only
gets his
date
music
white guys.
That's not the point. I still need the validation.
Well, get better shoes. Listen to better music.
Listen, I
You want
mentioned
me to
it.
teach you how to get approval from black men? I'll teach you.
Oh, I got to hear this.
Go ahead.
You need some sneakers.
Get ready to get them canceled. Hurry up. Go ahead,
You
Bill.
can't. First of all, you can't keep wearing your feezies.
But they're...
His feezies. Mm-hmm. The reason I mentioned Alanis Morissette is because she's coming next summer. You should take your brother. Alanis is coming with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, baby.
Where's she coming to?
Blossom. July 17th. They're setting all these Blossom dates for next summer. So Alanis with Joan Jett and Morgan Wade.
I don't think we're going to be able to breathe at that concert.
The tickets will go on sale next Friday, 10 a.m., but the show is July 17th out at Blossom. You're going to be able to breathe at the Alanis show?
We're going to be between the BO and the weed smoke. Oh my
B.O.?
God.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just going to be jam-packed and everyone's going to be high.
Oh.
That is a...
Alanis?
Yeah.
Like, her fans are my age. That's a Gen X act.
So they're not going to be high?
I don't know if an Alanis show is the
I
one.
mean, there's going to be some people smoking,
There's
but
going to
that's
be a lot
any
of Gen
show.
X moms there.
It's not going to be like Pentatonics. Like, it's going to be...
Right, but it's also...
a bunch
well, you
of-
didn't go to that anyway. Didn't you skip out on that?
Yeah, it was raining. I wasn't going to stand in the mud, but I'm saying, hey, Pentatonics, I already know what their fan base was going to be like. An Alanis show, like... and Joan Jett.
Love Joan Jett. So anyway, that's next summer. I remember right before I had gotten hired by the radio station in Pittsburgh that I worked for. You're talking late. I got there in January of 99, so tail end of 98. As far as alternative music went in the late 90s, it was post-grunge. It was very, very female-centric. You had your Alanis Morissettes, you had your Sarah McLachlans, you had your Cardigans, you had your Björk, you had, all these people. And they used to do a tour called the Lilith Fair. Anybody remember the Lilith Fair?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, apparently my station in Pittsburgh was an alternative station, and they had sponsored the Lilith Fair. And as a promotional item, they laughed about it years later when they would tell me, because they said it was obviously a huge swing and a miss. But their promotional item for the Lilith Fair show in Pittsburgh were nail files with the station's logo on it. Because it was all women on the lineup. And they were like, hey, girls like taking care of their nails, right? Even though the Lilith Fair was supposed to be a complete repudiation of anything that had to do
with the patriarchy.
Or any kind of stereotypes or anything like that. And so I was like, oh my God, these poor sons of bitches, interns out there for the radio station, stand out there handing out nail files as they're going into the Lilith Fair to see who else? Tori Amos, who was doing the Lilith Fair back then.
Oh, Sheryl Crow did it one year.
Yeah, there you go, Sheryl Crow. Well, now it's Alanis and Joan Jett next summer.
I'm pretty sure
Good lineup.
My brother made my mom mad singing Alanis about right around the time when I got my license.
Fiona Apple, that was another big one back then. Jewel, Lisa Loeb. Your mom got mad because you were singing Alanis.
No, she got mad at my brother for singing Alanis because he sang the song Ironic, and it was right around the time I got my license, and he was like, he waited his whole damn life to get his license, and once he pulled out, a freaking truck hit him. Like, she's like, don't you sing that, because she was terrified of me being on the road. And my brother didn't get his license till he was 18. I got mine at 16. So he was kind of like jabbing and twisting my mom, and she was real mad.
Why did you get yours early?
Because I was less impulsive, she said.
Wow. All right.
And I got my brother's old 1992 Nissan Sentra.
Oh, yeah.
He put speakers in the doors so they didn't have any, the window cranks were broken off. So if I wanted to roll the window down, I had to put the little thing on there and roll it. Like, I had to put the window crank on the little screw and roll it down.
Boy, looking at this Lilith Fair lineup, if you are a Gen Xer, mid-late 90s, these Lilith Fair lineups are like a where are they now of female alternative artists. But they were huge at the time. Fiona Apple, the Cardigans, who I mentioned, Jill Sobule. Anybody remember Jill Sobule?
What was her song?
Her big hit was I Kissed a Girl.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? It was way before Katy Perry did her song. It was called I Kissed a Girl, and it was very controversial. Yeah. Beth Orton. Wow. Dar Williams, Suzanne Vega, Joan Osborne. What if God looked like you and me? It was something like that. I forget what it was. I got $1,000 here. You get these once an hour, about the bottom of the hour. So listen closely. It's $1,000, $1,000 in your pocket, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie, and the weekend's coming up and the holidays and everything else, man. So good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Dollar. That's dollar. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Poundcake, you didn't go to the Pink show last night, did you?
Sorry, my mic wasn't on. No.
It looked incredible from what I saw, because she gets out there.
A lot of traffic last night for the Pink show.
She's on that wire contraption, and she's just flying all around the
It's
arena.
like a trapeze act.
It's insane.
I bought, and again, if Mary was here, I'm sure we both bought that Misunderstood album, because I bought it because it was like, my brother had her first album where she was pink, but she was black. She was like a light-skinned black woman. And then the second album was Misunderstood, and it had like Family Portrait on there, the Get the Party Started, Just Like a Pill. So that was like my rebellious album. So I really love that album. After that, I didn't really buy anything else. I think her music now is too commercialized and gushy, like that song Perfect.
She's older now. She's got more to draw from.
I guess, but like, I really liked her early stuff. Her first album and her second album were my favorites. Everything else, I'm like, eh.
It's also got to be.
I like Who Knew.
Who Knew is still her best song.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's got to be tough when you put yourself in a position where people are coming to your shows as much for the stunts as the music now, right? Because she really set this precedent for herself. Where now when people come, they expect to see her literally swinging from the rafters.
Yeah, you're going to see Peter Pan now.
Right, yeah. Said she started the show falling from the rafters on bungee cords. She started with Get the Party Started. And then going airborne and flipping around, and it's all like aerial ballet, and it's hard enough just singing some of these songs. Sure, it wasn't flying around nonstop,
But there's a lot of it.
but there's a lot of choreography involved, and there's a lot of, if you're not flying around, you're dancing.
And that's what
She ain't no spring chicken anymore.
She has a rocking body. Like, she's always been, like, built. She's always been, like, muscular.
She's built like a high school soccer player.
But she's a gymnast, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You kind of have to be to do all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who has... for like a tour, Beyonce had a song where she went up on the little wires and, did the little swirl around. But that was one song, one tour.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's still doing that for several tours after. And it's like...
Right, into their late 40s,
Yeah,
too.
she's homegirl's pushing 50.
That makes her stand out.
Good for her.
I did watch her. I think she had a 60 minutes or...
I bet her husband doesn't do as many stunts as she does.
She had like a 20/20 or 60 minutes, one of those interview. And one, she owns a vineyard, which is cool. And two, she was talking about how she still seems underrated after all these years because she sold 3 million tickets and no one's talking about it. So I'm like, she had the summer of Taylor Swift and Beyonce selling out, stadiums everywhere. I'm like, 3 million tickets, that's for one tour, that's pretty damn good. And she's right, no one was talking about that.
I mean, I didn't even know she was in town until I was leaving.
Well,
and I was like, who is here? And then I saw the pink, some people wearing like pink boas. And I was like, oh, yeah, pink.
I was only reminded of that because there were a lot of girls who work here that were going to that show last night. And they were all cackling about it yesterday.
I knew she was on tour, but I thought she like postponed some dates because she had like a throat thing. Like she had I don't know, she lost her voice, but I guess she has her voice back. So I didn't know if it was still continuing because it's like the Trust Fall tour. I like that song, but her songs now are just too like mushy for me. I'm good on that.
Stephen Canton says that his first concert was Alanis at Blossom when he was 12. That sounds like a show you got dragged to by your mom. I don't have a sitter for you, Stevie. We're going to go see Alanis Morissette. She's going to talk about banging the guy from Full House.
Do you remember your first concert?
I do.
What was your first concert?
Barry Manilow.
Oh.
I was taken when I was 7 by my mom.
Mine was John Denver.
My first concert on my own was
Barry Manilow.
I went right back. We went to see Cheap Trick because if you grow up in Chicago, like they practically mail you Cheap Trick records. And but I remember I went to go see Iron Maiden and Judas Priest when I was 10. I went with a friend and his older brother.
I didn't go to my first concert till college,
Yeah.
and it was free, of course, and it was MGK. He was
on campus.
Yep, we could get in with our zip card, and I went by myself because I don't think my roommates wanted to go. But he had just come out with like, or maybe it was like just after Wild Boy or whatever, but he was still on the come up. And he came to the E.J. Thomas stage door. I remember that.
Oh boy,
because the stage door is different. Like
that's like a tinier venue, or what is it?
No, so what they do is they have E.J. Thomas Hall, which is like the hall, and you have like the, I don't know,
it's like an auditorium,
theater seating. Yeah. The stage door is he's performing on the stage, but you're like backstage looking at the stage. So they just turn it around and you walk through the stage door. And there was a lot of people there, and it almost collapsed. I remember he crowd surfed a person. So stay with me here. Someone was thrown out into the crowd, and he used that person as a surfboard. Yeah.
He stood on them or sat on them, or what?
He stood on them and was like performing while he was like. So that was like my first concert, and I went by myself, and it was pretty legit.
Did he sing "Laces Out"?
Lace Up.
What?
Lace Up is his thing.
Oh, I think it's not "Laces Out." Isn't that Machine Gun Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he performed "Salute." I remember and I'm sure he did "Wild Boy," but yeah.
Okay. Well, that's.
Oh, "Invincible." That was a really good song. That's my favorite song by MGK.
Mm-hmm. All right, there you go. If those of you have that song on your what is Poundcake's favorite MGK song on your bingo cards at home, please mark that down. I'll be contacting you for prizes. Anytime you want to call us, you don't have to do it live, but you can leave us voicemails. You get a life to lead. After hours line is 216-986-8903.
Alan, Trucker John, King of I-71. Hey, man, I'm listening to the show like I normally do every night. Is downtown Cleveland becoming the San Francisco of Ohio with all the pooping and peeing going on? And when is Poundcake's big night where everybody's going to have on a tux and big gowns, and Poundcake's going to have on his lemon-colored pimp suit? Just curious. Take care of each other. Trucker John out.
There you go. Lemon. I don't think it's a pimp suit. We just said he was going to like a canary yellow suit, right? I think what Trucker John's talking about is the initial word we got on the Cleveland Scene Best of Cleveland party, which is supposed to be on December the 7th, I think. But as soon as Poundcake pulls his suit out of his garbage bags, gets it dry cleaned or whatever. But I don't think we've got any more further info on that. But since Poundcake won Best Sports Talker in Cleveland, he's going to be celebrated there along with all the other winners. And so that would be, I think, pretty exciting.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten a formal invitation, but I think I actually might have a conflict that day. A scheduling conflict.
On December the 7th. Because you'll be celebrating Pearl Harbor Day?
No.
Oh. You'll be memorializing Pearl Harbor Day?
No.
You'll be narrating a documentary on Pearl Harbor Day?
Nothing with Pearl Harbor.
Well, then I'm all out. You'll be celebrating, finally, the recreational marijuana being passed? Taking effect?
I'll still be doing
that. Was also...
That's what?
That was also a tentative date for our Christmas party. The
December 7th.
Yeah.
Well, I've also heard nothing further on that.
Right.
What's your conflict, potentially?
So... my friend's mom is scheduling a dinner for my gays that are coming back to Ohio. Your friend's mom is scheduling a dinner for your gay friends. Well, yes, their mom.
Well, that's an ally.
Yes, their mom, and they're having a get together because
their mom.
They're coming back from California, so
it's
like
a
big get together. So it's all the way out there in the boonies.
I mean, I imagine that they would understand if you said, "I can't make it. I have to go to this party because I'm being celebrated for my sports talking."
Well, I was invited to one before.
Why don't they come with you?
Because I don't know if they want to.
Get a +8.
I think they're saying, yeah, well, it's like 30 people.
From what I understand, we don't get a +1 or a plus us.
Wow.
They offered a $10 discount on the ticket.
Well, there you go. You can have my +1 if that's what's going on. Well, I hope that all works out. I mean, as for Trucker John's other question, if downtown Cleveland is turning into San Francisco with all the pooping and peeing, I don't know. Again, we can only see, during the course of the show, we can only see what transpires in the frame of our window here. And there has been, on occasion, over the course of the last year and some change that we've been down here, yes, there's been the occasional pooping. And there has been the occasional peeing. Do I think it rises to the level of the hellscape that they're dealing with out there in San Francisco? No. We don't have people sleeping outside our window here. Not yet. It's just not as densely populated down here as it is in San Francisco.
But the
analogy still stands.
The recovery is going better than they originally thought. There was Cleveland was one of the cities that was having the hardest time recovering the downtown area after COVID. And then there was a new report that we're right in the middle, like of 60 cities that were like right there in the middle, like around 30.
Hey, there you go. Because we used to be like 62nd out of 62.
Right. But they showed the map that they used for the original survey that they did. And it was a part of downtown that isn't where all the action happens. Like they had like Euclid from around here, like East 6th or West 6th over, and going like northeast.
Yeah.
They didn't have like Public Square in 4th Street and all these main areas of downtown included in the first report.
Well, I know they're definitely sounding the alarm bells next door here at the arcade. They're trying to figure out, like, what the hell can we do to get this thing up and hopping again?
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I don't know how you're going to do that with the Mad Hatter and a diner that's open, 4 hours a day. They do, man. That's delicious, that Addie Diner. But so, John, to your question about whether or not downtown, I don't know.
Pee-pee's what I like to do. Pee-pee-poo, pee-pee-poo, poo-poo. I like to do too. Poo-poo, pee-pee-poo.
You should read.
Poo-poo, pee-pee-poo, pee-pee-pee-poo, poo-poo. Oh, pee-pee's what I like to do. Pee-pee-poo, pee-pee-poo, poo-poo. I like to do too. Poo-poo, pee-pee-poo.
Should do what?
You should read the text that Mary sent to the group chat about the Cleveland Scene party.
Uh-huh. Oh, all right. Well, there you go. I've got to take a break. Hey, if you want to send a text, 35192. Going to be talking to Peter Billingsley in a bit. Very excited. Ralphie from A Christmas Story is back in town. Greater Cleveland Film Commission's doing a fundraiser to celebrate the 40th anniversary of A Christmas Story. And Peter is in town with other members of the cast. They're doing a fan expo at Public Hall this weekend. So we'll chop it up